Am I live? I should be live. Let's see if I can hear, because I'm pretty bad at these streaming things. If you guys can hear me, just let me know. Because I am not the best at this kind of stuff. Okay, I think you can hear me and stuff like that. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So, because usually I'm on Real Talk Live with Krypton Cage, if you guys know him, and he usually does all the setup for Real Talk Live, and then Lewis for movie buffs. And I just kind of sit back and do absolutely no work whatsoever. But I'm learning. Bear with me. I am learning. So if you guys can hear me, okay, that's 100%. I checked on my phone, so it should be working. So the Movies That Matter show is basically a show that I've wanted to do for a long time. I've done it up and down and stuff through Instagram and even on YouTube as well. And basically, we just talk about all the latest movie news, TV news discussion, and we bring it up here, we talk about it, we break it down, and then you guys get in the comments and let me know your thoughts as well. It's an open forum for you guys to chip in. I listen to your opinions. Even if we don't agree, it's still good to kind of just listen to all opinions, to be honest. But I'll just share this into Facebook and to all the Twitter and the interweb and stuff like that, because get some people over for discussion. But yeah, loads of things to talk about today, guys. We've got Baby Con, which is interesting. We've also got some Army of the Dead love that was shown today by Netflix, which is 100% awesome to see. And Zack Snyder looks so happy as well. So that's pretty awesome. Captain America 4 to talk about. Really looking forward to that. And also we have the anniversary for Infinity War and Endgame. One movie I absolutely love. The other movie, not that much. I still enjoy it, but it's just it's not as good as it should have and probably could have been. But let's get into this. I've just shared now to Facebook. Bear with me, guys. But how are you guys doing? Just let me know in the comments what you're up to tonight. Thanks for joining me here. And we'll talk about some of the movie news. Just 1 second now. Yeah, so the Son of Khan. Now I call it the Son of Khan. That's the working title that they have right now. Baby Khan, I have in the title for the video. But yeah, so Godzilla v Khan came out a few weeks ago. And you know what? It's an okay movie. I thought it had some pretty good action in it. But some of the story beats, some of the character development I didn't really like. And I wasn't really interested in the characters whatsoever. Like Khan's Skull Island, I absolutely loved that movie because I was invested into the human characters as well. But for this one, it was just more kind of a popcorn flick with the action. I didn't really care for the human characters whatsoever. And Adam Wingard, the director, he did a few other movies as well. Like he's a good director, and he seems like a studio director where he's getting a lot of work. I think he's doing the sequel to Face Off. He did the Death Note movie for Netflix. I know that got a lot of shit because it wasn't an adaptation of the anime series. I didn't know anything about the anime series or the movie, so I just kind of took the movie for what it was, and I enjoyed it. But he's going to be doing another movie in the MonsterVerse, and many people are upset. Again, Godzilla v Khan has proven to be a success. And I think it probably goes back to maybe the Michael Bay Transformer days, where Michael Bay was making maybe not the most likable of movies for certain people, but they were making money. So he ended up making 5 of them. And Adam Wingard here has made a lot of money in a pandemic. And that's pretty good. And in a way, it probably saved or helped cinema a lot because, it looked bad for a long time. But this comes from Variety. Godzilla vs. King director Adam Wingard in talks to return for new legendary MonsterVerse movie. After the massively successful debut of Godzilla vs. Kong, the film's director Adam Wingard is in talks for a new movie in Legendary's MonsterVerse franchise. Since its launch in theaters on March 31st, Godzilla vs. Kong has topped 400 million at the box office, marking the highest grossing release of the pandemic era. The film has debuted on HBO Max as part of Warner Bros. Multi-platform release strategy for the studio's 2021 slate. In 2014, Legendary kicked off their MonsterVerse plans after partnering with Japan's Toho Studios for 2014's Godzilla. Godzilla vs. Kong is the 4th movie in the franchise after Kong Skull Island, and Godzilla King of the Monsters Wingard would be the first director to return to fold for a second film. There are no details regarding when the MonsterVerse movie would debut, especially given that Wingard is pretty full slate at the moment, with a live-action Thundercats feature in the works for Warner Brothers and a Face-Off sequel at Paramount upcoming. So, look, he's got some big movies coming up because he's made money. He's got more work, and that's why he is being brought back by Warner Brothers. Now, am I excited to see another MonsterVerse movie? Big time. I really, really am. Am I excited that Adam Wingard is coming back? Not really. Not really, because look, great action, VFX. I thought the score was pretty good as well. All that kind of stuff worked. I thought it could have been a little bit longer. I thought it could have fleshed out things a little bit more. I thought the story was very weak. But the best part was the action. And that's why we all went to go see that movie. But I did think it could have been a little bit longer. I think it could have explained more of the background to what Godzilla was doing, because it felt more like a Kong sequel than a Godzilla movie as well, because it's Kong versus Godzilla. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing more Kong. Skull Island is one of my favorite MonsterVerse movies, big time. I wish the director of that movie had come back, because I thought he did an amazing job. But again, Adam Wingard might be able to do something different for the sequel. He might get a little bit more freedom for the sequel, because this one made more money. So look, let's see how it goes. I'm not against it. I think he needs to improve a little bit in his storytelling beats, but I think a lot of it was cut out from Godzilla v Kong as well. There was talks of a whole different arc for certain actors were not even in the movie and stuff like that. So that's disappointing. So maybe, I don't know, Warner Brothers are sticking to this under 2 hours mandate right now. Mortal Kombat, prime example. Justice League in 2017, another example. And now Godzilla versus Kong. So there's nothing wrong with an under 2 hour movie, but at least tell a good movie with a good story. And that's something that Mortal Kombat and Godzilla v Kong lacked for me, was really a really good story. Action, brilliant, but maybe general audiences, if the action's good, if the characters are cool looking, then they might forgive some of the weak story beats. But yeah, that's coming sometime in the future, and it's no surprise, because this franchise of 4 movies has been up and down, but they've all made big enough money. And look, Godzilla King of the Monsters, I think, is a beautiful movie. It's an epic movie. Kong Skull Island is a lot of fun. Godzilla 2014 is more of kind of an art piece. It's a very interesting movie, that, and Godzilla versus Kong is very much the popcorn driven movie of the franchise, and that's the one that's made the most money. So it makes sense that they would go and make more in that direction and that route. But that's just the way it is. If it makes money, why change it? But what's your guys' thoughts? Let me know in the comments. What's your thoughts on the Baby Kong, as I'm calling the movie? The working title is supposed to be Son of King Kong, or Son of Kong, which is interesting. So is the original Kong not going to be in it anymore? I like this Kong. I really felt for him. I thought he had a little bit of a personality in Godzilla vs. Kong. The connection with the little girl was pretty cool. But is he going to be killed off, or will we see a father-son Kong movie? That'd be pretty cool. I won't lie about that. But yeah, but I don't know if you guys got to see the trailer that Netflix put out today. It kind of showcased all the movies that's coming out for the summer, some of the TV shows as well. And it opened with Zack Snyder's Army today. That's coming out May 23rd on Netflix. Looking forward to that. And Kevin Hart had a pretty good reaction, which was funny. Is that an Elvis zombie? So it was pretty good that they got Kevin Hart to react to that. And then Zack Snyder at the very end, having his popcorn, watching the trailer, saying, "Can it be longer?" Which is kind of a dig towards Warner Brothers in a way, but I thought that was pretty funny. But I just think it's interesting that Netflix are showing him so much love, and I think he looks a lot more happier with Netflix than he did with Warner Brothers. Even the press tour for Zack Snyder's Justice League, he looked happy and stuff, but with Netflix, he just seems to be on a different level altogether. And I don't know if you guys went to the kind of early access to the trailer that was out a few weeks ago. He was there with Dave Bautista. I got to watch his interview. He just seemed just full of joy and just so happy and stuff like that. So look, I'm glad that Zack is happy. And if his continuation of stories is going to be on Netflix, then there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. There is nothing wrong with that. Now, I know we all want the Snyderverse to continue. It's a bit of an uphill battle. I don't know if any of you guys watch Grace Randolph. Some people like her, some people don't. But she was saying a lot of people in Warner Brothers, especially the higher ups, do not want more of this world, and they're the decision makers, and that's what's killing the continuation of the story. But again, if Army of the Dead's a big success, will Warner Brothers turn their head and say, maybe we want some of that as well? Maybe. But I was a little bit disappointed that we didn't get very much numbers about Zack Snyder's Justice League. I tweeted about it I tweeted about today about my feeling about how HBO Max present their products, and I think it's a branding problem more than a quality problem. But yeah, it's just it's interesting. But look, he looks happy. I think it's going to be a great movie, an epic. I love zombies. Walking Dead fan here, of course. But yeah, I think the road will lead to more movies with Netflix. This franchise, the Army of the Dead franchise, is slowly building. An animated prequel is coming. We've also got a spin-off prequel as well. Or maybe the animated one is a continuation of the story. I'm not too sure. But yeah, Army of the Thieves as well. That's going to come out next year on Netflix. So there is definitely a franchise building. And Army of the Dead, the main one, will probably be a trilogy, maybe. But I just think it's awesome that this kind of virus originated from Area 51. So who knows what else is possible? Vampires, aliens, superheroes. Like, what else is possible in this Army of the Dead world that Zack Snyder's building? Anything, really, really anything. But it's exciting times. And the thing about Netflix is they're not afraid to give their directors freedom. They're not afraid to say, "Here's money. What do you need to do? What's your vision for this project? Go and do it." It's pretty much it's that simple from them, and I think it's refreshing, big time. And even talk to Christopher Nolan might be working with Netflix in the future, maybe some way if they can get theatrical movies out there. That's amazing. Christopher Nolan jumping ship from Warner Brothers to Netflix. Like, he'll probably just want his movies out in theaters, but Netflix, that'll be a pretty big win for Netflix. They got Martin Scorsese. The Irishman hit theaters 3 weeks before it came out on Netflix. I got to see it in theaters here, which was awesome. I enjoyed it. Yes, I sat for the 3 hours or 3 hours and 30 minutes, and I loved every minute of it. And I wish I could see Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead as well. But a Christopher Nolan Netflix movie with an unlimited budget, the freedom, of course, and to be in theaters, maybe he'd be down for that. I think Netflix, that'd be a good opportunity for Netflix. And I think was that the Oscars, Netflix had a lot of winners as well. So Netflix are very much, they are cinema at the minute. They really are. People are going to look down at them because they're streaming, but they make some really good quality shows and movies, and they hire some pretty talented people. So yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see what the future lies. But yeah, I don't think we're getting any more trailers for Army of the Dead. We'll probably get some more TV spots and stuff like that, a few more posters, maybe a few more kind of games. That casino one was pretty cool, where you unlock a code. So we'll probably get cool things like that, which is awesome. And it's interesting because Netflix aren't really big into marketing. They might put a trailer out for something 3 weeks before it comes out. A theatrical movie, you'd see a trailer nearly a year if it's a big movie before it comes out. So that is interesting. But yeah, we'll have to see how it goes. But Army of the Dead looks badass. It looks insane. And I'm happy for Zack Snyder to continue with Netflix if he's happy. If he's not happy with Warner Bros., if Warner Bros. Are going to be dickheads to him, then what's the point of staying in a negative situation, a negative environment? Makes no sense to me whatsoever. So I think that Zack Snyder should do what's best for Zack Snyder. And I know we would love more of the Snyderverse, more Superman, more Batfleck, and that could still happen in some capacity. Ben Affleck's coming back for the Flash movie. Henry Cavill could be in the Shazam first. Who knows? But we'll have to just see how it all plays out. But will it come to a scenario where Warner Brothers, their next few movies don't really turn out the way that they want, and they might have to turn back to Snyder? Maybe. Or maybe HBO Max isn't performing the way that they hope it should, and they might have to think, well, maybe if we go and do this Snyderverse thing, it might bring a lot of more people to HBO Max. Because the thing is about HBO Max is, like, this year is very kind of unique, because Matrix 4, Godzilla vs. Kong, Wonder Woman, Tom and Jerry, Mortal Kombat. In a normal year, those movies would have came out in theaters and not on HBO Max. And theaters seem to be getting somewhat better. Box office is improving. So what's going to happen in 2022 and 2023 when the box office is fully open again? Theaters are fully open. People want to go out. Are these movies going to hit HBO Max on the first day? Not a chance. Not a chance. So what do HBO Max have now? And just think of it this way. If Matrix 4 wasn't there, if Godzilla vs. Kong, what would make you subscribe to HBO Max? It would be the Snyder Cut, but what else? If you take away Black Widow from Disney Plus, you still have WandaVision, you still have The Mandalorian, you still have Loki. So I think HBO Max have a bit of an uphill battle. I know they've announced a Game of Thrones animated show. They've announced the Harry Potter show. They've announced Green Lantern Corps. But that's the thing again with DC, with Warner Bros. They announce, and the product doesn't seem to be there. And then the Harry Potter series is going to take a while. They sold Lord of the Rings to Amazon, which that's going to be a massive hit over there. So I think their management of their products is not the best whatsoever. But we'll have to see how it goes. And I think maybe if HBO Max isn't performing the way that they want, they might have to come back and say, can we do a Deathstroke series, which I would love to see? Can we do a Joker series, something like that, just to gain interest, to get people to subscribe to HBO Max. Now, maybe I might be completely wrong. Maybe there's people are interested in HBO Max without Matrix 4 and Godzilla vs. Kong, but we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I think Army of the Dead has a stacked cast, a very diverse cast of actors, and Netflix is everywhere. Like HBO Max is just in one place, or some places around the world as well, but it's not internationally available like a Netflix. Netflix is everywhere. Like Antarctica, the penguins have Netflix, so that's pretty insane. But I think it's going to do pretty well. A diverse cast. Batista's a huge star, not just from his wrestling, but from Guardians of the Galaxy, from his other movies that he's done. I think the German actor who directed the prequel Army of the Thieves and also is in this movie, the Safecracker guy, he is a big star in Germany. And there's other big stars in the movie as well. And of course, Zack Snyder is worldwide known to be the director for Man of Steel or Watchmen or Dawn of the Dead and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm expecting Netflix to have a huge hit in their hands with Army of the Dead, and they won't shy away from the movie's success. They will tell us it's in the top 10. They will tell us it did this many numbers, because remember Attraction, Chris Hemsworth, the Russo brothers one, that did pretty well, and they told us like it was 90 million viewers or something like that. It was pretty interesting. And then the Murder Mystery with Adam Sandler and Jennifer Aniston, that did pretty well, and they told us straight away when these things did well. So I'm expecting them to do the exact same with Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead. But guys, are you looking forward to Army of the Dead? I hope you are. I like Zack Snyder. Is funny because the first DVD that I ever purchased was a Zack Snyder one. It was Dawn of the Dead, the 2004 one. And I didn't even know who Zack Snyder was. Didn't know anything about directors, about producers, or anything like that. And with the first bit of money that I had to go out and buy something, I bought Dawn of the Dead. I went home and I watched it. On the front cover was the girl at the start of the movie who turns into a zombie and she bites her father. Spoiler. And she was on the front of the DVD cover and she's zombified. And I just was memorized by this image. And Jacob Torres goes, yes, yeah, Jacob's a big fan. That's good. And I went home and I watched it. And I just fell in love with the movie. Just really thought it was cool. It was different. Them in the mall, kind of, and the zombies outside, and they come up with a plan. The dog, the guy across the way with the dog, and the signs. I thought that was awesome. And that movie had a very interesting ending as well. I won't spoil it in case you haven't seen it, but it's not that much of a happy ending, I should say, for Dawn of the Dead. And that was a remake as well. And I was reading online the last few months that received a lot of backlash because it was a remake of this iconic movie, and Zack Snyder actually proved a lot of people wrong, and people said, oh, wow, this is a really great movie, his directorial debut, and he is able to do such a good remake of this movie. And that's where I fell in love with it, fell in love with zombies. Zombieland, I got to see that then as well with Woody Harrelson, Jesse Eisenberg, loved that one. And then I got to get into The Walking Dead, which I have watched since 2010. And it's 2021 now, so I've been watching it for 11 years. I've seen every single episode the night it premiered. I've watched it with my brother since the very first episode. So Zack Snyder got me into zombies, and I've loved zombies ever since. And I just love watching zombie movies. I think it's just a fantasy. And I asked Zack Snyder when I got to interview him a few months ago, I go, why do you think that the zombie genre has stayed around and superheroes have stayed around, but movies like, and genres like the Westerns has died, died down. We don't see too many Westerns now. And even if they are made, they're not that big. People don't flock out to see them like they used to. But he said that he thinks it's a kind of a fantasy element too, that this is something that would be terrible if it happened, but we're also intrigued as human beings to see something like that happen. So I thought it was a very interesting answer. But yeah, I love zombies. And Netflix actually has a lot of popular shows of zombies on their platform, because there's a show that came out last year called Black Summer that did pretty well. It was a zombie show. They also, in America, I think in Brazil as well, they show The Walking Dead. So when it airs on AMC, which is the main channel that airs on, a few months after, it pops up on Netflix, and it does pretty well on Netflix as well. Especially in Brazil, they have a huge fan base in Brazil, so Netflix is very much in the zombie game as well. Z Nation does be on it too. So like, zombies do have a place in the world, and people are very interested in them. So I think Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead is going to be a huge success. And if you guys think the same, let me know. But the next kind of topic I want to get into, guys, is about Avengers. So it's been 3 years since Avengers Infinity War came out. And for me, this is my favorite, and I think the best MCU movie. Infinity War, I went to go see it, packed cinema. Great atmosphere. Everyone was so excited to see this movie. Interested to see Thanos. It opens up, of course, with Thanos killing, I forget his name. You guys might know his name, Idris Elba's character in the opening sequence. I just think that movie, for me, had a lot of risk-taking from Marvel, something that we might not have seen in the past. And like, it wasn't as comedic as I thought it would be. And it was darker. And especially that kind of ending sequence where everyone's dusted away, I was like, oh my god. Like, I didn't know anything about that from the comics, but just watching that, and most people in the theaters didn't know anything about that either, and everyone was like, oh my god, what has just happened? And everyone just kind of dusts away, and things like that. So I just thought Infinity War was a really great movie. I loved the interaction between Tony Stark and Doctor Strange's character. You know, I thought them two had a nice kind of feud of words. Then the Guardians of the Galaxy come in as well, and even though that kind of is a cheesy moment where Dave Bautista's character Drax is like, "Why is Gamora?" I thought it was pretty funny in the moment as well. But Thanos is a great villain, probably one of the best comic book movie villains of all time, maybe one of the best movie villains as well. And he wins in that movie. Like, there's no mistake about it. Infinity War, the villain wins. Thanos wins, and he gets rid of half of the population on all planets. And it's only until, like, what a big criticism I had, we didn't get to see on the aftermath of that too much. In Endgame, I know you had to tell a story of them saving the world, but we only got a little glimpse of the world when it was dusted. We got a little bit more of it in WandaVision. And Falcon and the Winter Soldier as well kind of hit on it as well. But yeah, Infinity War for me, 3 years old. I love the movie. I still watch it every few months. I think it's a really, really great movie. At the box office, it made just over 2 billion. So that was pretty good. It's not too bad for a movie to make just over 2 billion. But yeah, still watch that movie, and I was so excited to see Endgame, the next kind of chapter in the movie, which came out kind of a full, or just under a year later. But like, a main kind of thing that I loved about Infinity War is because I actually feared for Tony Stark. I actually thought he was going to die. And the moment he gets kind of stabbed by Thanos, I thought he was going to die. And I kind of was tearing up a little bit. I was a bit emotional about it. And I didn't want him to die because he's my favorite character. He's my favorite MCU character, Tony Stark. And then only a year later, then I was even more disappointed when he did die. But it was just in that moment, I just thought he was going to. I thought Josh Brolin gave a great performance. Tom Holland's Spider-Man, even though I don't think he's the best Spider-Man, it doesn't matter. He's still a great Spider-Man, and I think he plays the role absolutely brilliantly. I don't think his solo movies have kind of been directed the best way to get the full potential out of him, because I think he's a great actor. But I think that will come in time, and I'm looking forward to Spider-Man 3. But Infinity War, for me, 3 years ago today, it came out, and it's one of the best cinematic experiences that I had. Big time. It's great to be in an atmospheric environment with so many people watching this movie that they're invested in, because the MCU, you are invested into the world, you're invested into the characters big time, because you've been on a journey for over kind of 10 years. And I think that was kind of slowly building for the DC universe as well, because with Zack Snyder's Justice League, people had known these characters from Wonder Woman, from Man of Steel, from Batman v Superman. It actually felt like DC had a cinematic universe like Marvel, and you felt for these characters in Zack Snyder's Justice League. But then that's kind of gone right now at the moment. But it's something beautiful that the MCU, Kevin Feige, has done, is create this universe, create this environment where everything is connected. And yes, things are cheesy, things are kind of maybe over the top at times, but in the end, it's good entertainment. It's good. It's a good thing to put on, to enjoy it with family or with friends, or if you're in a bad mood or not the best mood, you can sit down and you can just watch a kind of a popcorn action movie for 2 hours. But I think Endgame should have been a little bit more like Infinity War. Infinity War for me is a little bit more of a darker movie, and I would put at the top of my MCU list, it would be The Winter Soldier, and it would be Infinity War. And actually now, after watching The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, is The Falcon and the Winter Soldier as well. I think those three have been the best from Marvel, big time. But 2 years ago, I think yesterday or maybe today, wherever you are in the world, it was 2 years anniversary for Endgame. And Endgame, of course, was the highest grossing movie of all time. I think Avatar got a re-release and it beat it again, but Endgame has made 2.8 billion at the box office, which is just absolutely insane. Yeah, but I was looking forward to Endgame. The trailers were pretty good as well for that movie, and I was a little bit disappointed. I still enjoyed Endgame a lot. I think the action is great. I just think some of the dialogue, get the team together. The final battle is brilliant, where Cap is holding Mjolnir, the hammer, and Thor is there as well. Iron Man, they're just fighting Thanos, and then of course Tony sacrifices himself. But elements of that movie that I didn't like was kind of Professor Hulk. I just thought he was too childish, too cheesy. Sienna's here, hi Sienna, and I just didn't like that whatsoever. I just like Hulk is supposed to be angry. He's supposed to be, he's supposed to just go and be unleashed and just take out bad guys and just cause absolute destruction. And in that movie, he was a bit of a joke for me. And I know he kind of came up with the solution for helping Tony with time travel, and then also he did his own kind of snap, but I just didn't like the goofy Hulk Shrek. I didn't really like it whatsoever, and that was a disappointment for me. And I was enjoying the movie up to that point, and then that kind of moment came, that scene came in the diner, and I was just kind of a little bit soured for me. And then I was like, okay, I can live with that. And then we got to see overweight Thor. I'm not going to say fat Thor, but overweight Thor. And I just thought that was just a little bit over the top as well. And those two elements for me, for Endgame, really undervalued that movie. I understood what they were going for with Thor, but I just didn't like it in a way. I love Thor Ragnarok, and I think the comedy style in Thor Ragnarok is brilliant. Looking forward to Thor 4. Some people don't like Taika Waititi, but he's an Oscar winner. He's a pretty good director, pretty good writer, and I think he kind of saved the Thor franchise in a way and kind of give it a boost again, big time. So I'm looking forward to Thor 4. But Christian Bale's in it as well, Russell Crowe. So that's going to be a stacked movie. So hopefully it's good. But yeah, I didn't like those two elements from Endgame whatsoever. Many people did. Many people did like them. They thought it was funny. But for me, it just didn't work. It didn't work. And I think they kind of undervalued Thanos a little bit as well, because in Infinity War, he's so powerful. And then in Endgame, he's not really as much of a threat as I would have liked. And the Avengers didn't beat the Thanos from Infinity War. The Avengers beat a Thanos from 3 or 4 years earlier. And then Thanos ends up in the main timeline because they killed the Thanos that was in the original timeline that made the snap. So they're fighting a Thanos who has not even got the Infinity Stones yet, who doesn't even know he won and did the snap. I just think it's a weaker Thanos. It's not the actual powerful Thanos that was beating them, that was punching down Captain America, that was killing Vision, stuff like that. So I just thought they undervalued him big time. And it just felt like they were afraid of getting too serious with Endgame. I think they looked at Infinity War and just seen this kind of darker movie that was not the regular MCU formula. And then instead of like going further with that in Endgame, they kind of went back a little bit and they got a little bit afraid of what they were doing, and they played the safe option. Bring in more comedy with Hulk, with Thor, make Thanos weaker, bring back Loki, stuff like that. It's like they got afraid of the risks they were trying to take, and which I didn't appreciate that much. But again, it's a movie. I think there's so many good things about Endgame. Action is great. There's actually some really nice cinematography in that movie. I'm not the biggest fan of Captain Marvel. I didn't like the Captain Marvel movie whatsoever, but I think Brie Larson's a great actress. I just don't like her as Captain Marvel. But maybe that will improve, because Captain Marvel 1 for me wasn't the best, but there's a new director, new writers coming in, so it could be even better. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes. Yeah, but Endgame for me, still an enjoyable movie. I'll still watch it, but when you go from Infinity War to Endgame, I just think Endgame, it's a missed opportunity big time. That's why I think Infinity War is the superior movie. And I'm glad that Infinity War is not called Part 1 and Endgame is called Part 2. It's actually its own movie where Thanos won. The next movie is 5 years later? Some new characters are involved and stuff like that. So for me, it's a completely different movie, even though they are connected. You can't argue that it's Part 1 and Part 2, but for me, it's a new Avengers movie because Thanos won here, and then they had to use time travel in the next movie to fix everything. So yeah, that's the way I'll think about it. But you guys probably will disagree with that. But yeah. 3 years, hard to believe, and when we're all able to go to theaters. And that was actually another great cinematic experience, actually seeing Endgame in theaters. Even though I didn't have the best of time, I still enjoyed it because there was so many people there. There was a bit of a buzz around. People were excited. I went with all my friends. They were excited, and it just seemed like everyone came together to watch this event. And that's what it was. It was an event. And I think it did its job, and that's why it became the highest grossing movie of all time until Avatar was re-released and took its throne back. But of course, if Endgame gets re-released again, it'll probably overtake that. But yeah, that's pretty awesome. But guys, last topic that I want to talk about is Captain America 4, which I am happy with. I don't have the episode number on my thing. Hold on 1 second. This is episode 12 of Movies That Matter. Yeah, so look, I'm a big fan of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. If you watch my reviews on the channel, I've said that it's a really great show. It's well written as a team of black writers, mostly black writers as well. A woman directed all 6 episodes. I think they did a fascinating job exploring the themes of racism, PTSD. They did a really great job with those kind of elements. They didn't shy away from them. They really went towards them. And of course, I'm a white man. I can't speak for people of color who've gone through experiences like that. I can't, but I really felt for those characters. And I'm sure for someone of color, from what I've seen online, it hit people really hard, and they really appreciated that from Marvel, and to use this platform of superheroes to tell that kind of story. So I thought that was beautifully done. I love the element between Bucky and his past demons and what he was trying to do. Sam trying to realize, is he good enough to be Captain America? Is he not? The government wanted a white Captain America. They picked John Walker. So I thought the show had a lot going for it. And I think even though maybe the finale was a little bit rushed, I think it stuck the landing. Something that maybe WandaVision didn't do, in my opinion. But yeah, I think it's Anthony Mackie as the new Captain America is great. I'm so happy for him. I'm so happy to see that movie, to see a continuation of the story. And Captain America was a big franchise. All 3 of those movies are pretty great. They made a lot of money. And now to see the story continued. And I think that Anthony Mackie will do a great job. He's done a great job so far. And it just shows you how Marvel listen to their fan base, because you watch this show for 6 weeks, 6 episodes, you're investing into the characters, into the story, and you want to see more of them. And the thing that Marvel do the day the finale hits is they're like, okay, we'll do a movie. Captain America 4, let's do it. Same showrunners involved to write the script. Anthony Mackie's going to be coming back as Captain America. They give the fans what they want. You go over to HBO Max, Snyder Cut comes out, it's a pretty big success. People are talking about it. No news, no announcements, and you're left there, oh my God, what is going on? So it shows you the difference of disconnect between the fan base. DC is very disconnected from their fan base, in my opinion. Marvel is very much, they are the fan base. They really are. Everyone is connected over there. So they're giving fans what they want. I think there was reports that Steve Rogers himself, Chris Evans, was supposed to show up in the finale, but I'm glad he didn't. I think he was taken out of it, along with Florence Pugh as what's her character's name? She's going to be the new Black Widow. But yeah, Florence Pugh was taken out of it. But I think it's the right thing to do, because the Captain America now is Anthony Mackie. I think if you brought in Steve Rogers, it would have overshadowed him in the role and the finale. People would have been talking about, oh my God, Steve Rogers is back. Chris Evans, oh my God. That would have been trending. Otherwise, what was trending? Captain America 4, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier finale. That was the kind of stuff people were talking about. So I love that so much. Sorry now if I butcher your name. I do apologize. Ibitola, I love DC, but Marvel shows everyone why they are on top. Yes, I'm sorry if I butcher your name. I apologize. Yes, exactly. And I don't think Marvel will ever catch DC, or DC will ever catch Marvel. And that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to catch up with them, which is disappointing as a fan base, because we're consumers. We're telling DC what we want to watch. We're telling them what we will pay to see, and they won't make it. And it's just disappointing as a fan base. And they greenlit so many projects, DC, but a lot of them never get made. But Marvel, if they announce a project, it usually gets made, maybe 100% of the time or 95% of the time. If they announce a movie, it will come out, and that's the difference, big time. But Marvel shows everyone big time how it's done, and they can do the serious side as well. They can do the humor. They have a nice balance of it. They cater to all audiences, and they do pretty well. Of course, look at the box office. Look at the success of the world that they've built. But yeah, DC has been trying to play catch up with Marvel, and even in a press release a few weeks ago, they even mentioned Marvel again about the formula that they're doing. It's just kind of disappointing. But I think the way forward for DC is just make very interesting characters, interesting stories, do the Snyderverse, do the Batman with Matt Reeves, do the Flash movie, just make good movies that people can be connected to. But I do think a disconnected universe that DC have will hurt them in the long run, because people are so used to the Marvel Cinematic Universe and everything tying together. And it's like, for WandaVision, if someone said, what do I need to watch WandaVision? And you're like, okay, watch Age of Ultron, watch Civil War, watch Infinity War, watch those 3. That's it. That's all you need. And then you go in and you watch WandaVision and you feel like you know these characters then. With DC, can't really do that. I don't think people like that much, which is interesting. But it did feel like DC was, as I said, was getting a universe with Zack Snyder's Justice League. You've been with Ben Affleck's Batman. You've been with Wonder Woman. You've been with Henry Cavill since 2013. It actually felt like a universe was building, and now it's just stopped. It's gone, and there's a reboot-esque of the Suicide Squad coming in August. And like even the Joker appearing in Zack Snyder's Justice League, it felt like Suicide Squad film was a part of this universe. You've seen the movie, it feels like this universe is connecting some way, and then they're going off to do a Blue Beetle or a Satana movie, so it is kind of annoying. But yeah, Captain America 4 is coming sometime in the future, the next phase for Marvel. I'm so happy for Anthony Mackie. I can't wait to see it. I think it's going to be great. And the same team is involved in the show is doing the movie, so I'm 100% behind that. And it just shows you that what Disney Plus are offering. They had WandaVision, that ended. Week break. We had Falcon and the Winter Soldier, that ended. Now we have Loki coming in a few weeks, Black Widow. There's so much coming from Marvel, and it's not going to take long for Marvel to overtake the box office once again. Warner Bros. Has been kind of in control of that with Mortal Kombat and Godzilla v. Kong, but Disney will come back eventually, and they will not be taken lightly by the box office numbers. But yeah, that's all interesting stuff. But guys, I thank you for watching. Give a like, comment, and subscribe if you're not a subscriber. Really appreciate it. You can follow me on all my social media. That stuff is in the description. Just search for Movies That Matter on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok as well. So yeah, I'm starting to do some TikTok. I'm not too good at it. My dancing isn't the best. Don't worry, I'm not dancing. I'm just talking about movies. But also on Instagram, I'm reviewing some movies that I wouldn't do on the channel. So some movies that I watch, but I don't have time to do a full review here. I'll just do a quick 4 or 5 minute review on Instagram. So I've done 2 reviews in the last few days. Definitely go check those out, and it's much appreciated, and feedback is always a plus. But guys, if you want to contact me, don't be afraid to DM me, talk about movies. I try and reply. Sometimes I don't see the messages, but then I try and reply when I see it. But yeah, I appreciate you watching, and that's all the kind of news I had for you today. Was we're getting another King Kong movie. Adam Wingard's coming back. We're also getting Captain America 4. We had the anniversary for Endgame and Infinity War, and Netflix very much is in the Zack Snyder game. And Ibitola goes, agree, DC, Warner Bros. Needs to #restore the Snyderverse. They're so disconnected, and it's such a shame because Zack gave them gems of films. Man of Steel is my favorite. Yeah, Man of Steel is a pretty great masterpiece. And if you guys have any comments, put them in the comments, and I'll address them before I end the stream. Yeah, big time. Like, Zack gave them very interesting movies, thought-provoking movies. Like, it's not like Man of Steel failed or Batman v Superman failed at the box office. They did pretty well, they had an audience. Suicide Squad did pretty well too. Wonder Woman, they're all kind of Zack Snyder movies, and they all did well at the box office. They had an audience big time, and it's just a shame that Warner Bros. Were so reactionary and they went in a completely different direction. And that's why they're even more steps behind Marvel now, or more steps behind in terms of this universe that they're trying to build. We'll have to see if the Flash movie tries to retcon or reboot the world. We'll have to see, but I just hope they end up making a good Flash movie. Don't be worried about rebooting stuff. But it's very hard to know what's up and what's down with DC. If Ben Affleck will return for more or not. Michael Keaton was kind of, is he coming back? Is he not coming back? And stuff like that. What's going on with Henry Cavill? There's a lot of what ifs. But then you look at Marvel and you think, let's just pick a character like Chris Hemsworth. There's no doubt about his future. Unless he's killed off, he'll be in the next movie. Who else do we got? We got Brie Larson. These actors are staying around. They have contracts. Their movies are successful. The fans love them more or less. And it feels like a universe. It feels like you're a part of these stories and these characters. While in DC, it's very hard to get connected to a director or get connected to a character because it might be the last time that you see them. So it is pretty, like Ray Fisher's Cyborg. Absolutely loved him in the movie. When am I going to get to see him next? Might never get to see him next, So that is annoying big time. And Man of Steel is an absolute masterpiece of a film. I enjoy Batman v Superman a little bit more, maybe because of the action sequences. But I think Man of Steel is a masterpiece. I think Batman v Superman is a magnificent movie. And I think Zack Snyder's Justice League is Zack Snyder's most well-rounded movie in terms of audience appeal. And it has so much heart in it. And it's a very inspiring movie. And the score is pretty awesome as well. But guys, I think I'll end it there. And I appreciate you guys commenting as well, watching the stream, giving it a like. And don't forget to follow me on the social medias, because I try and post as much of the news and stuff like that. So if you want to follow me on Instagram, the minute news hits, it goes on that straight away. Trailers, of course, little reviews that I have, I put them there as well. But guys, appreciate you watching episode 12 of Movies That Matter. If any more news drops, I'll put it together and I'll do episode 13 and we'll see how it goes. So yeah, guys, subscribe for all latest movie reviews, TV discussions, and all those kind of good things. But guys, enjoy your night wherever you are, or maybe morning. I don't know what time zone are like here. It is 1 a.m. Yes, 1 a.m. And it's my mother's birthday today. So, well, she's asleep now. But when she gets up, happy birthday, Mom. And yes, we'll have a cake tomorrow and some fatty food, because, you know, it's a special day. So yeah, I'll get some sleep, guys. And thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it. Enjoy. Much love. Bye-bye.